What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters Allstar video. And in today's video, we have some very exciting news to be talking about, as the 3rd anniversary developer's note has officially arrived. We now have confirmation on a ton of details for the 3rd anniversary events, as well as confirmation of the newest collaboration to come alongside it. So before we get into all of this news, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe, and cue the intro music. Alright, you guys, so before we get into the actual good news and start talking about the anniversary, let's talk about a separate notice that CM Yuri put up on the forum briefly here, and then we'll get to the good stuff. So, this is the advance announcement about the correction of match results in Chapter of Fight, and I'm actually going to read through this for once in its entirety, because the terminology and the way they frame this is absolutely hilarious to me, so I want you guys to see if you catch it. We are aware that several contenders are having issues in Chapter of Fight where the match results, win or lose, are applied abnormally when using dot damage. The issue mentioned above has been applied differently from the plan, and this will be corrected in the 728 update in order to play it smoothly. We apologize for the inconvenience you had in the first season of the Chapter of Fight, for it was supposed to give new ways to enjoy the game. Thus, we have prepared compensation for the inconvenience this has caused. See the compensation details and distribution schedule below. Long story short, guys, they're giving you 10 Chapter of Fight auto-clear tickets on the 728 update when they patch out this exploit or bug or whatever you want to call it that everybody has been using to get advanced through Chapter of Fight, because at this point, the exploit is really the only way for most people to get very far. And yeah, they frame this in such a way to where they make it sound like it was some sort of massive inconvenience that we were using this. It's like, how out of touch can you possibly be with the way people feel about this kind of stuff? Like, yeah, the terminology, the way they framed it, everything about this thing was tone deaf, and I just thought it was hilarious to read, because they made it sound like, again, that they were doing anybody any favors with this, and really all they're doing is going to upset more people. And if you look at the ratios, yeah, it's exactly what you would expect. So yeah, guys, they're going to be patching out the exploit. Get as far as you can right now, I guess, but yeah, guys, it's going away. On top of that, the event ended where the gold hammers and the rubies were something that you could get for doing it, which, yeah, I think kind of took the wind out of the sails for the few people that were actually enjoying that mode right now. So anyway, let's talk about important stuff. Let's talk about stuff that's actually good news, and that is going to be the 714 Developers Handbook Part 3. This is the one we have all been waiting for. This is the one where we learn about new dungeons and the 3rd anniversary update. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. Hello contenders, this is the KOF Allstar dev team. This is what you've been waiting for. Today we are going to inform you about the much awaited massive 3rd anniversary update and new additional dungeons. First, let's talk about the 3rd anniversary update, and then they give you the first glimpse at the newest Dead or Alive 6 collaboration. These are going to be your 4 new characters that are coming with the collaboration, alongside some of our previous KOF Allstar swimsuit characters. Good stuff. This is a very nice little summer anniversary graphic. I like what they did with this. So overall, looking like the waifu apocalypse is upon us, as we can pretty much glean from this thing here. So yeah, guys, for those of you who are here for the waifus, get ready, because your day has finally come. And, you know, joking aside, I know a lot of people for a long time have been wanting Dead or Alive as a collaboration. So for all of you Dead or Alive fans out there, I know you guys get a lot of trouble. So congratulations to all of you for this. I know you've been waiting a long time. I hope you guys get what you want and you enjoy it, and your favorite waifu is on here. But let's talk about the details. So the main event of this 3rd anniversary update is the DOA 6 collaboration. A total of 8 DOA 6 characters, including a regular Dead or Alive 6 version and a swimsuit version of Dead or Alive 6 popular characters: Kasumi, Marie Rose, Hanako, and Niotengu Neo Tengu, I don't know, will be released. Please look forward to it. So we're getting 4 new characters alongside 4 swimsuit alternates. We don't have any information whatsoever on which one's going to be the free character or how they are planning on breaking up these banners. I would assume that they are going to put the regular version and the swimsuit variant on the same banner, and you'll have kind of 2 and 2 and 2 different banners along with 2 different card banners, kind of like we're used to, but we'll have to wait and see on this. They don't really give us a lot of details on the actual breakdown here, but I'm assuming that that's probably what we're going to see. So good luck with that, you guys. I'm sure that everybody is going to totally want just the traditional version of these characters with their normal uniforms on and not in their lingerie, right? Yeah. Anyway, also in the collaboration event, we are preparing content that gives a large amount of rubies by using collaboration fighters only. We'd like to give a little information about this one. And then we get this graphic here. Now this graphic does blur out quite a bit, so there's not a lot for us to know here. This is laid out similarly to what we see with Chapter of Fight. Internally, I shudder, but at the same time, this is probably going to be something that is fairly easy. It doesn't really give a whole lot of detail here, but what it does tell us is this content will be played using DOA 6 fighters only. You can earn more than 5,000 rubies along with various growth items by clearing the top floor of this content. In addition to this content, we are preparing a rush dungeon that provides imprint stones and various events where you can acquire some fighters. So the information that they give us here is that we can get 5,000 rubies total from reaching the top floor of this, so that does confirm that this is going to be similar to Chapter of Fight in some ways, hopefully in just a few, and that it's only going to be similar in structure, because otherwise people are going to lose their minds and be pretty upset, being that Chapter of Fight itself isn't necessarily at all popular. But that being said, it's nice that they are giving us a little bit of compensation for investing in these characters and pulling for them. 5,000 rubies as a kind of reimbursement is pretty nice if you went for these and want to use them here, although I can definitely see where a lot of people who are skipping or planning on skipping because they're waiting on the next SS banner could get a little upset, being that they are going to miss out on 5,000 rubies if they don't pull. So that part is kind of sus, I suppose, but again, I'm not going to complain about this. This is pretty good stuff. I think for the most part, it really just comes down to the implementation. The rush dungeon, you can pretty much set your watch to. That comes with any collaboration. The one thing here that does kind of annoy me is the fact that they go out of their way to say you can acquire some fighters. Do not, and I repeat, do not get excited for this, you guys. Do not at all get excited for this, because this probably means that you can acquire, like, who knows, like a gold border character that we've already had for a year or two, or whatever the case may be. I doubt highly that they are going to be giving you free characters from this latest collaboration. Don't buy into that. If they do, it's probably just going to be the generic free character that you already get for logging in, if they're still planning on doing that like they normally do. It's not going to be anything to where you're going to be getting all these banner characters or potentially getting all these banner characters for free, so don't fall into that trap and think that way. Now, another thing they point out is the imprint stones will be available through the rush dungeon. That is something that we've also become accustomed to. That's not anything new and is always welcome, so good stuff overall there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next bit of information. Also, to celebrate the 3rd anniversary, a new episode in Epic Quest will be added at the end of August. In Epic Quest Episode 2, which will be released soon, the fighters from Ness are given a new look by Noah and will be appearing with a new story. This is interesting because, first and foremost, we have all been begging for new Epic Quest. I'm excited for this. This is probably my favorite part of the anniversary update, if I'm being honest. I'm really excited to play this. However, what does excite me even just that much more is what they point out here with this Noah line. So for those of you who do not know, we have had kind of juiced up versions of Zero and Ignis and some of these other characters from the Ness saga in the data mines and in the files for a very long time. They are things that we had predominantly kind of just figured were going to be bosses for the Epic Quest at some point, and here we are. We pretty much get confirmation that this is how they're going to do it. They're saying that Noah juiced them up somehow, so I don't know, hopefully they don't drug test in the King of Fighters, because if they do before you can enter, then those PEDs, they don't look very fondly upon those typically in sporting events, but that is pretty much what we're looking at with this. But, you know, overall, I think that this is good news, and I think a lot of people are going to be very, very happy. Now, next up here, we have something kind of interesting. So, as the need for increasing combat power increases after the introduction of the Chapter of Fight, Transcend Battle Card will be introduced along with the new Epic Quest. Transcend Battle Card will be implemented by using the battle card with the same grade as a material to transcend. In this way, you're reducing the stress of battle card growth as much as possible while increasing performance. And then they give us a graphic to kind of give us a visual. This is fine. It just depends on what they're doing with it. Like, I'm assuming that hopefully that required bit right there where it's showing what you need to enhance this mature card, I'm hoping that's not a new material. They say that you use the same cards, or at least the same grade cards up here. So I'm assuming that that is what they mean, and this is just some sort of like empty placeholder thing. I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see how this works. I'd assume that this isn't going to be a big deal. If anything, it's going to be nice for those of us who have a ton of the 6-star cards just laying around that we can't do much of anything with. But at the same time, again, we'll have to wait and see. But this is fine. I don't think that this is going to be anything that is going to be too backbreaking or game-changing. So we'll have to see what the implementation looks like. But interesting stuff. Now, lastly, this is fun. Lastly, we would like to introduce the new additional dungeon, the Buff Selector Dungeon. Tentative name. The Buff Selector Dungeon. Like, I'm going to tell you guys right now, we've talked about this before with Chapter of Fight, right? Why can they not name anything? Their names are literally, guys, and I can speak from experience on this. I have an 8-year-old. It's like an 8-year-old literally is naming these game modes. That's what this is like. You know, when you look at your kid, or you look at a kid and you're like, what would you name the dog, or what would you name the cat? And it's Doggo or Catto. It's like the most ridiculously on the nose and generic names possible. That's what they go with. I don't get it. But anyway, in the past, KOF Allstar's dungeons showed only the same pattern of monsters appearing periodically, so the fun variable was relatively lacking. To make up for this, we are making a dungeon with a new concept. The Buff Selector Dungeon will be new, challenging content with the goal of reaching the top of the floor by utilizing the random buffs that occur every time you clear each floor. We expect that the variables given by the random buff will give the contenders a variety of fun on playing, so please look forward to the dungeon as well, and that pretty much sews this thing up. So this sounds like it's going to be fun, you know, bad name aside. It sounds kind of like an arcade type mode where you're going to get random buffs and you can kind of just go through and play on your own time and yada yada yada. It doesn't sound too bad. I think it should be enjoyable depending on how they do it. As always, I take everything that they say with these new game modes with a grain of salt until I actually play it, because you never know with implementation with this company. But at the same time, it sounds fine. So overall, guys, predominantly good stuff. I don't think there's anything in here that's offensive. I think everything looks fine. You know, there's little things here and there people will probably nitpick, but overall, I have no issue with any of this. The Dead or Alive collaboration is what it is. It's something we had pretty much already assumed. I think we all kind of knew that this was coming. There were a few outlier options, but this was the one that made the most sense. So it is what it is. I mean, everybody gets to have their waifu-filled summer anniversary event and be happy. I can save, and everybody wins. So it is what it is, right? So let me know in the comment section down below if your favorite waifu was included with this collaboration. Which one are you looking most forward to? Do you think that these characters will be good? Let me know. But that is pretty much going to be it for the collaboration news. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Continue.